let's see what these different areas of life have in store for you over the course of 2024. All right, for your actions and options, you have the Hermit card, right? So you are being invited here to really see what you can do on your own, right? So for some of you, this might be striking out on your own in some area of your life. This might be where you're starting to test your sea legs, right? This is almost one of the ways that this might show up. I don't know if you've ever had this, but like once you take your driving test and you go out like that first time on your own, there's no instructor, there's no parent, there's no one, it's just you. And it's like, okay, I can do this, right? There's something about this card. I mean, the Hermit card is about pulling away from the world, right? But in this context, it suggests to me that there's something here that you are doing alone, potentially for the first time ever. You're striking out on your own. You're breaking away from something that's been kind of like a yoke of support, if you like. And this isn't to say that your support system's dissolving or it's going away. It's not any of that. It's just there's something here where you're striking out on your own. You are going in to do something for yourself, right? And by yourself. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you will have heard me say when the Hermit shows up, the High Priestess has a message for you. So a part of your process or the actions that you take this year, it really is, big chance for you to trust your intuitive faculty, but to listen to it more. The other thing as well, in terms of the options that are available to you, the options are to strike out on your own, right? To do so. Let's get straight into it. So this year, obviously, the new moon and the full moon for you this year are eclipse energies. So this is a pretty big deal. Now, so your new moon is a new moon solar eclipse that happens on the 2nd of October. That's at 9 degrees. Okay, so your new moon being an eclipse, it's this one, actually your new moon is the last one in the axis for you, and for that reason it's going to be a pretty big deal. It is square to Mars in Cancer in your 10th house of career, so that's something to keep in mind. And your social status is found here as well, and your ruler Venus in the sign of Scorpio in your 2nd house at the time is in a grand water trine with Saturn retrograde and her celestial lover Mars, right? So I actually think that this grand water trine is providing the right grease or lubricant for all of us. And in your chart, it's in the money and the workspaces, which means that like it could be like where you find the emotional and, in your case, maybe even material support that comes through colleagues, friends, and even partners if you have one. All right, so remember, you're going to get one destiny card, one direction card per month of the year. And this first card out, it kind of typifies the year that you're going to have. So it's a pretty big deal, all right? Now, with that said, let's see what comes up for you. And remember, I'm not going to talk too much about the astrological transits in this part because you have your astrological cheat sheet. All right, so your first card out this year is the Emperor. So this does suggest that this is a year for establishment. It's a year for you really coming into your own power. It's a year for you to really command your space and also to find your personal sovereignty. Now, the eclipses this year are obviously bouncing back and forth throughout your sign and the sign of Aries, so this is a pretty big deal for you. The Emperor card actually represents Aries, so in some way, shape or form, this does suggest that you are balancing out your needs, wants and desires with those of the other people and the connections in your life. Now, this whole year is going to probably be about new information, new systems that you're setting up within the boundaries of your own life, but also creating and holding the boundaries and the firm lines in your own life. Now, in terms of January, for some of you, this could literally be that you come straight into the year and you are setting plans into motion. You're starting to get, starting to plan, starting to organize. If that is the case, you are absolutely working with the energy. If you haven't seen the numerological overview for the year, check that out. It will give you a lot of important context for the year ahead. Okay, now that being said, We come into the year with a Mercury retrograde. I know, but you know, it is what it is, right? That Mercury retrograde finishes in the very early part of the 2nd of January. So we basically have a clear start to the year. Yes, there's going to be the post retrograde shadow, but I'm not really thinking about that too much. Last year, 2023, we started the year with Mars retrograde, with Mercury retrograde right the way till like past halfway through the month. So we don't have that this year. So we're getting straight into it. On the 21st of January, Pluto is coming into the sign of Aquarius, which for you actually represents your 5th house of pleasure, joy, romance, creativity, also your creative endeavors and also your children. It'll dip back out of Aquarius and into your 4th house of home, family and property of Capricorn. And then in November, it will go into Aquarius once more full time for the next 20 years, right? So big deal. Now, with that said, your clarifying energy for the month of January is... Alright, so don't worry, I always shuffle my cards before I get on camera, but I like to do it on camera so that people know what they get is what they get. So you've got the King of Swords. Wow. Okay, so this does suggest that you could be connecting with a very powerful air sign person. It also suggests that this could literally be you, whether you're a man, woman, however you identify is irrelevant. That King of Swords carries an energy that you vibrate to. And the fact that it comes up with the Emperor, this is you coming into the year really with a very clear, solid idea of where you want to go, and you are setting something into motion in a very powerful way. That King of Swords will see you looking at the paperwork, the documentation, what it's going to require from you on a, on a pretty sort of serious level, right? Certainly on a commitment level. The other thing with the King of Swords, it usually represents somebody that is older or somebody that's very wise or learned in their field. So this could be that you're connecting with somebody like a lawyer, a doctor, a police officer. This is somebody who really knows their stuff and probably works in a very official capacity. People that show up as the Emperor tend to be people that are like their title is their job. Police officer, lawyer, doctor, right? Your job is your title. Now, that being said, it's a pretty powerful start to the year. January, April, May, July and November seem to be the shaky months of the year, but it looks like you are starting strong. Like whatever's happening on the world stage, you're just like, yeah, that's not, I've got stuff to do, so I'll be doing that.